Hey guys, it's Preston Carter from the Journey Podcast. I just wanted to take a minute to clear up the fact that we are not professionals, and what you see here is just conversations with people that are a very positive influence on my life, and I hope you guys can take something away from it that can help you on your day-to-day life journey. But if you need legit help, like if you're fighting depression or how you feel about yourself, there are professionals out there that can help you, and we are not professionals. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it that will help you with your day-to-day lives.
Make the best out of every day, every opportunity, the good opportunities, bad opportunities, because we all have so many opportunities in our lifetime, just like we have so many seconds in a day,
Welcome back, everybody, to the Journey Podcast, Episode 2. My name is Bryson Carter, and today I have the very inspirational Ned Cain. He has helped me a lot through my life and leading young men through their life, and we all know high school life is tough, so I'm really excited to be able to interview him and ask him some questions. It's going to be pretty cool. So how have you been?
Bryson, I've been doing pretty good, buddy, just staying busy.
Yeah. All right. So this first question that I'm going to ask you it's kind of based on, I know how when people wake up and their motivation and their mindsets can help them get through the day. And a growth mindset, in my opinion, is very, very important. And based on this article that I found, researching for my senior project, it was an article by Hugh Zhao, if I'm saying that right, called The Relationship Between a Growth Mindset and Junior High School Students' Meaning in Life, a serial mediation model. And it states, a growth mindset is an individual's belief that human intelligence can be changed through continuous practice and effort. Obviously, motivation and positive mindsets take practice. What is a positive growth mindset to you, and how do you practice it daily to motivate yourself to get through life on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think a positive growth mindset is through life, you're going through our good and bad experiences, which everyone goes through. It's using all those, regardless of the outcome, and learning from them to make us a better person.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think as long as we have air, we're breathing air, we're always learning. We're not the finished product.
Yeah.
So we're always need to be using those experiences to learn and better ourselves, make us a better person.
Yeah, for sure. Learning through hard times and stuff like that. I know you're a lot wiser than I am, which is why I thought that you were a perfect interviewee for this, because even small groups, and if you don't know what Impact is, you definitely should come. It's a youth group at the Summit Church in Kernersville every day at 7 o'clock, or not every day, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And Ned is our senior guy's youth leader, and he's really good at what he does and helps a lot of young guys go through high school, because we all know high school's tough, and I'm glad that he's able to be here, and thank you for being here, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's cool. So the next question is based off the same article, but it's a different quote, and it says that individuals with this mindset hold the growth ability view, believing that intelligence has the characteristics of growth, shaping, and regulation, and can be continuously improved through dedicated study and training. In your life, where you have seen this to be true, like where have you seen this to be true? Just dedication and hard focus on how you can have a continuously growth mindset. And let me rephrase this real quick, but just in your life, like where have you seen this to be true, to have a growth shaping mindset and be continuously improving yourself just with practice and training?
Well, personally in my life, I feel like I've learned, over the past 10 years especially, going through a divorce and having a major job change and kind of, being at the very bottom. And that's when you have to you're at a crossroads, what you're going to do with your life. Are you going to just sit there and just give up, or you have to strap on your big boy pants and you have to reinvent yourself, which is what I had to do. And my wife, she had to do that over the same period of time.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And one of those starting at the very bottom and you're working your way up to where you're at today.
Yeah.
So that's something that I am very proud of for me and my wife, where we really did have to reinvent ourselves from where we were 10 years ago in our past life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something to be very proud of. That's awesome. And I have a lot of life left to live, but we were talking in there about, this is not really one of my questions, but we were talking in there in our youth group about being able to help people, and just looking around and knowing like what you can do. And obviously a lot of people raised their hands, and you included, was like, I definitely could use some encouragement. And how can we as high school students and just people in general, since this is a student-based podcast, I'm going to say high school students some, but even in school or work, or how can we look around and be like, I need to help him, or how can we just know how to help people and just do it on a day-to-day basis, make it a practice?
I think it's just keep your eyes open, keep your head up, and just look for opportunities. I think when you do that and you are eager to serve and help others, opportunities will provide them. They will appear right in front of you. Prime example, I think I mentioned a lady, elder lady, one of my clients, found out a week ago her son has cancer, and he was going to be released and coming back home. Not sure if he's cured, or I'm not sure of the status. Don't ask a lot of questions, but
yeah,
I knew that was a big thing on her. So like today, this earlier today, I just wanted to send dinner to her. Didn't ask for it. So one of those opportunities that throughout our day and our week, we all have them. It's just if we act on them or not.
Yeah.
It's just, like we said in group, we're supposed to be hands and feet,
Sure.
and the one way to be, how not to be the hands and feet, or just to sit there on the sideline.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps when we involve ourselves and we get on the court for the field, and we start making moves, and we start serving instead of just thinking about it, because it's easy to think about it or say, hey, we should do this,
Exactly.
But it's like when you get into it, and serving is one of those things. It's kind of like, how when I'm with you guys, it's serving is something, once you do it, it gets inside your skin and you can't not do it.
Yeah.
I feel like something's missing if you're not doing it.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy you guys so much, just the whole serving aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And a lot of times I think we either get nervous or kind of chicken out on what if they don't, a lot of people they want to be accepted by everybody and, want to fit in. So being able to just open yourself up to your faith and going around, and even I try to have a positive attitude, but it's a little bit different for some people. They'll be like, why, just being a little bit different than other people, which is a good thing, because then we can kind of be like, yeah, the reason why I'm this way is because of Jesus, and because I know him as personally, and I would like to help you. But I know for me, I'm not very good at just opening up and like being able to just go up and help people like that, because it can be a scary thing.
But something else to keep in mind, when we're out of our comfort zone, that's when opportunities happen. If we stay in our own little comfortable bubble or circle, stuff ain't going to change. It's going to be the same old. But once you step out of that comfort zone, that's when you can grow, and that's when the opportunities come up. So that's when the Lord could really do work on each one of us, is when we get out of our comfort zone. We have that faith to get out of our comfort zone and to, step on faith, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that most of the people listening to this are family and friends, but for people who are not Jesus followers, that's completely okay. Me and Ned and a lot of people here, we do definitely believe that way, and we would love to see you here at church, and we would welcome you with open arms, and it'd be cool to have you and to see you, and maybe your life would change and maybe it won't, but it definitely has for us.
Absolutely.
Well, I have another question here for you, and it doesn't have a quote with it, but some people were struggling answering this question, because I would go around and I would ask people and they'd be like, oh man, it's good. So if it takes a minute, that's completely cool, because it's something to think about for sure. But what does being your best self look like to you?
Man, oh, I've had plenty of days where I'm not being my best self, so I've had experience for that.
Yeah.
So anything other than that, being my best self, when I'm being my best self, I am being the leader my family needs me to be.
Yeah.
Head of the table, a productive person in society, productive person in my business. Being my best self, being the father that my kids need.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that with, being confident in myself. Wow. That's a deep question, Bryson. Being my best self.
Yeah, and I know nobody reaches that point just in your mind, because I've heard people say before, if I set the bar low, if I overreach it, I'll be happy. And I'm like, I feel like if you set the bar high and you be disappointed, it pushes you to work harder. And so with like, I know where I want to be, and I'm nowhere near that, but I feel like if I keep working every day, I mean, I might never get there, but I'll still be fulfilled with how far I've come. So it's not necessarily a question of like, have you been there before? It's a question of like, in your mind, if you were, I've reached and done everything with your business and everything that I wanted to do to become the man that I know God wanted me to be, and then I know I want to be, what would that look like? And like, what are you striving for?
I mean, like you said, just being the man that God has intents for me to be, because I know I'm nowhere near that person right now, and it's, some days I wonder if the man God intends for me to be, if that's attainable just because he's God,
Yeah.
I think that's wow, that's probably gonna be like a lifelong struggle to be that person that God wants me to be, because it's, it's not setting the bar low. It's, I prefer the saying, I may get this backwards. If you shoot for the stars, but you get the moon, or is it the other way around? I can't remember, it's farther up, but if you shoot for the stars, you get the moon, that's pretty good if you got the moon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. But back to your question about being the man that God intended me to be, being my best self. So I guess the best way to explain it, define that is it's a daily, I wouldn't say a daily struggle, but it's one of those things where you have to pick up your cross every day.
Yeah.
It's every day we might have to come back to that one.
Oh, that's completely okay. And I didn't mean that question to be like, because, we're never perfect and we can't pretend that people can be perfect. Because you can't. For me, I know that, and this is just the way my mind works, that if I didn't do what I needed to do, and I don't a lot of the times, if to be better, and for high school students, for me, it'd be college applications, and if I didn't get the grade that I needed to, it's like I could have studied harder. Just, I feel like not even necessarily being your perfect self, because that's not possible, and I don't want anybody to think that you have to walk through life being like, I didn't reach my perfect self today, and you can't beat yourself down for that, because you never will. But just striving to become better, and your goal is to be as perfect as you possibly can. And, I didn't mean to get that twisted if I did.
No, you're fine. You actually said it pretty good, just strive every day to be better than the last day.
Yeah.
It's, gets back to the first question, about every day you want to just learn from everything, your good days and bad days, and use that, just be better at the end of the week, just next day you want to get better, then better after that, and better after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What would you tell someone who is upset with how their life is right now and doesn't see how it can get any better? Like people who kind of are at their lowest, I don't know, we've talked a lot about this in group, just how we can keep seeing the positives even when we just doesn't seem like there's any at all.
I'll tend to tell them to pause, just take a pause, to stop, take a step back. You know, whatever is going on in our life right now, you know, sun's going to go down, moon comes up, and tomorrow morning we're going to get another opportunity.
Mm.
You know, and we have a chance to try something different, you know, if you have if you surround yourself with a good support group, you know, that'll hold you up when you can't stand up yourself, you know, combine that with a fresh day, a fresh start, knowing God has plenty of opportunities for you, like we talked about, you know, just hold your head up, just try to give it another go, you know, clear. That's the main thing. You know, try not to let the lows get too low, but then when you have a good day, don't let the highs get too high. You know, just keep yourself humbled, but yet don't on the bad days, you know, don't let those get to bring you down. You know, but you always have tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like it or not, we don't have tomorrow. That means that's going to be an even better day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Lord comes back.
Yeah. For sure. And, you know, we can't wait for that day. Anyway, I really think that's a really good answer, because the reason why I know that you have a lot to balance with family, and with even more than I could imagine right now, you know, but with family and business and with us, you know, with the small group here at Impacts, you know, you have a lot to balance. And, you know, I know that can bring a lot of stress. So that's a really good answer, just to be, you know, better every day. And you've shown us guys how to be that. We look up to you and Steve a lot more than y'all probably think we do, you know, because we see guys that take their time out of their busy lives to come and spend time with us. You know, a lot of times high school life can be a little bit like, oh yeah, you know, it's not as bad, or, you know, but a lot of guys, like, and girls, I'm not meaning just to say, it's a small group of guys that you lead, but even girls, like, and guys, everybody, it can be hard in different stages of life. It's just hard in different ways. So that's awesome.
Well, like you said, once you serve, it's hard not to do it. You know, it's kind of contagious. Like, I used to coach. Can't tell, but I used to coach soccer. And once you do that, it's hard not to do it. You feel like something's missing. You know,
yeah.
It's the same way with you guys, the group. You know, it's been 6-7 years, man.
Wow.
And just watching you guys grow and morph, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
Watching you guys grow into adults, young adults.
That's cool. And I know that I kind of joined late, but it's been cool to see make friends and your friendship. And I know I have somebody else to come to. It's cool. And I obviously can tell you're a coach. You're very passionate about your Detroit Lions, so that's really cool. That's cool. So this question here is, you kind of already covered this, so I'll skip to the next one. But I just want to know, like, what's your definition of a positive mindset? Positive growth mindset.
My definition of a positive growth mindset, I know it's different than the first question. It's, you know, just live every day, make the best out of every day, every opportunity, the good opportunities, bad opportunities. You know, because we all have so many opportunities in our lifetime, just like we have so many seconds in a day. You know, a wasted opportunity is a wasted opportunity. You won't get it back.
Yeah.
You know, and just make the most out of those opportunities. You know, the good opportunities we get, the bad life circumstances we encounter, you know, make the most out of every one of those. You know, when you go through those, you'll find opportunities to serve people. You didn't know you had opportunities to serve. You know, you'll serve people you didn't realize you're serving them.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll make you a better person. And it's like I said, I mean, as long as we're alive, as long as we're breathing, and as long we're not finished, you know.
Yeah.
And God's still working on us. and it's just make the most out of every one of those opportunities.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad opportunity, bad circumstance, you're dealt, bad deck of cards you're handed for a situation, you could still make something good out of it.
Yeah.
Just leave every situation better after you put your hands on it.
Yeah. Then for sure. Now this question is, I kind of got Ryland with this one, so if it takes you a minute, it's completely okay. This is like the only one he struggled with, so I'm hoping that I feel like it's a good question though, because I feel like it kind of stamps a person and how far they believe they've come. And I know that for you, just watching you and how you speak to our group, that you've grown a lot in different areas of your life. And so if you were to meet, and this is a little hypothetical, but if you were to meet your 7-year-old self, and it was the only chance that you got, and obviously I know this changes, so just like, what is it present moment that you would tell your 7-year-old self if it was the only chance that you got to give him wisdom coming forward, knowing what you've gone through and what you struggled with and the highs and the lows of your life up until this point?
I would tell a younger version of myself, don't be scared to try new things. Don't be scared of rejection. Most importantly, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Like I said, we're out of our comfort zone. If 7-year-old Ned was scared, lived in his little bubble, and he did the same thing all the time, was very scared. He was very, I don't know, scared's the word.
Yeah.
But he didn't like to try new things. Didn't like to, but yeah, I would tell myself to not be afraid to try new things, to not get out of the comfort zone, so God could work with a lot more of it.
Yeah, for sure. That's really good. And
all right, let me go into detail, because I know that not scared to try new things, I know that can be taken a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah, of course.
Don't be afraid to. When I was older, I went on a mission trip. I don't know if the 7-year-old Ned could have gone on a mission trip, but 13, 14-year-old Ned probably could have gone on a mission trip. You don't know what. We all think we know what we like as we're growing up, what we want to do, what our job is going to be growing up, or things we like. But until you step out of your comfort zone, the stuff that you're familiar with, it may be something totally different.
Yeah.
When I was 25, which was, I was already had some children, it was too late to do for any major life changes, but I did go on a mission trip to Burma.
Yeah.
Just using this as an example, and the feeling I had, the spiritual, I'm not sure what word to use, but just the spiritual feeling that God put on me when I was over there. We didn't go to build water wells. We didn't go there to build houses. We went there just to share the gospel. And I'd love for each one of my kids to experience that when they're younger, so they can make a better educated decision. Because if you haven't tried something, you don't know if you would love it. You can think that, but until you try something like that, you don't know. But if instead of a 7-year-old Ned, if I can go back from there to a 16-year-old Ned, say, hey, go do that. I would probably be a full-time missionary now. I would be doing something totally different in some other country. Granted, wouldn't have had any kids, so I wouldn't know about any of this life now, but wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
But, I would have, that's what I meant when I said I would get out of your comfort zone and try something new, something life-changing, not something where you're driving a fancy car or something like that, but do something that's just life-changing, that can give you more reaping benefits than you can put a dollar value on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The dollar amount is a very temporary happiness, like being a missionary, or like what you're doing with us is very, I try to behave myself. I know some people can be a little bit hard to deal with sometimes, but I know for me, like whenever I try to volunteer, I feel very rewarded. And I don't know if that's the same for you. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely it is. You know, it's one of those things that's, like you said, there's no money value on it. You see what the difference you're making.
Yeah.
Not me making the difference, but I'm just a vessel there, you know, kind of like you when you're serving. You're the vessel, and it does feel good, that you're making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, please get more people to want to do that and make a difference. Think of what kind of change that can make, and with the world, and you know, and with everything in general, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate your time. I have like 2 more questions for you, and they should be pretty quick. But I know that you have somewhere to be. But one of them is, so a lot of high school students right now, you know, we're trying to figure out where we want to go. We're a little bit, you know, struggling. Some of us are struggling to find out what we want to do. And you said that your dream was to be a missionary, or kind of.
It would have been if I knew how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah. How can you maybe tell high school students who are kind of going through the same thing, or even above high school, like if they're maybe said their job didn't work out, or their dream job, or they didn't get accepted to their college of choice, what advice would you give them, especially knowing where you are right now, knowing certain things happen for certain reasons? What advice and kind of help to lift them up would you give them? Just wisdom.
Don't get discouraged. God has a plan for everybody. Where you are right now may or may not be where you're at 3 weeks from now or 3 years from now. Well, you're in high school, so hopefully where you're right now, it'll be where you're at 3 weeks from now. You know, hold your head up, you know, don't get discouraged, you know. You know, God has a plan for all of us, and you just have to have that faith that he'll put you in the right direction, the right place. You just have to have that faith and look for, like I said earlier, look for opportunities, you know.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're at where you are right now, that's, you know, that doesn't mean you're going to be there, you know, a year or 2 down the road.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, you help a lot of students and young men go through high school life and life in general, even beyond high school years, I'm sure, the connections that you've made. I was just wondering, how can I help you? Because we're all a family, you know, we're all getting through this together. I just want to know how I can help you.
I think we talked about that earlier, you know, just, we'll pray for each other, you know, just, what you do here, man, just, you're always checking on me. It sounds kind of silly when I hear it, but when I say, hey man, is there anything I can do for you? And I'm a 48-year-old guy, you know, telling a high school senior, hey, is there anything I can do for you? But then the high school senior is like, oh, but is there anything I can do for you? You know, that's not something, that's, I don't know, that right there, that means everything right there, you know, because most people, they, you know, it's not in return. It's not returned back to the person saying it first, you know. It's, yeah, that's really it.
Thank you. And I know that sadly it's not returned, and I you know, I see what you and Steve do, and I really appreciate what y'all do, because you don't expect anything in return. And you know, like me, Rylan, and Brian, and all the other guys that are there, I know a lot of people that are, I know, try to show their appreciation, and we're there for you too. Not a lot of seniors, I don't think, really express it very well. You know, obviously we all have our own lives, and as soon as service is over, some of us just like, oh yeah, I need to get home. You know, don't really think about the you know, the where you were at, like you taking your time to help us. And so I appreciate what y'all do, and I acknowledge you for doing what you're doing. And I know it can be tough when maybe things will go your way, and you know, you got life stuff going on, and you know, like you said, a lot of people don't show their appreciation, and I want to be different, because I know that y'all put a lot of time into it, and I really appreciate what y'all do, and you guys are changing a lot of people's lives more than you think you are. So
Well, I think this is something where when you do it, you don't really do it for the appreciation.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice, but it's kind of like teachers. They don't teach for they teach because they have love for kids.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So that's why Steve and I do this, because of love we have for you guys, you know, because we've all been where y'all are at,
Yeah.
you know, and we have experience with a lot of stuff y'all are going through and experience y'all are yet to go through.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's that's why we do it.
Yeah.
Because of this, it's the joy that y'all give us, you know. I mean, when I go home, I tell my wife, I'm like, I really hope they get as much out of this as I do. And I mean that, you know, because it's about relationships. And
yeah,
I think the relationships that Steve and I have with all of you guys, it's not going to end when y'all graduate.
No,
you know, that's the goal is just going to go much farther past that.
Yeah, for sure. We still need to do like hangouts and stuff, and you know, exactly. Yeah, that's our spot. But yeah, I remember having a conversation with you like 2 camps ago. It was, and it was very like, I've never had a response to this before, because, you know, I try to, you know, I've been raised by really good parents to be like, thank you, you know, and you know, is there somewhere I can help you? You know, they taught me that way. And you told me 2 years ago, you're like, well, I don't want you to have to ask me that. Me and Steve are here to help you. You know, we've been through a lot more life, and we've experienced some things, so we want y'all to be able to come to us and it not have to be the other way around. And to me, that was like, man, like I've never heard anybody say that before, because, you know, a lot of people are seeking for I mean, everybody needs help. You know, everybody needs someone to talk to. I know you have like our youth leader, Chris, and Steve, and I know that you have all those people that you hang out with that you can talk to, but it was just really cool to, you know, that you're not in it for that, and that, you know, I mean, that's the definition of a youth leader. You know, it's really cool. Well, I really appreciate you being on. I'm gonna close this out, but I appreciate you answering my questions and coming in here. That was really cool.
Absolutely. Next time we'll have to talk about some fantasy football, some Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, maybe a separate podcast for that. Maybe like how I lost again. Yeah. Well, thank y'all again for listening to this week. I'm going to give y'all your weekly quote real quick. And the quote for this week is, if you can't change your mind, if you can change your mind, you can change your life. And that's by William James. Remember to be yourself and to chase your dreams. I'll see y'all next time.